Everyone believed him. The police believed him. His neighbors believed him. Even the victim's family believed him. He was calm, polite, cooperative. In fact, if you were there, you probably would have believed him too. But there was one detail, small, almost invisible, that didn't match the story. And once investigators noticed it, everything began to fall apart. On a quiet suburban street, nothing ever happened. No break-ins, no violence, no reason to worry. That's why when a woman was reported missing from her own home, police assumed the explanation would be simple. An accident, a misunderstanding, maybe she left on her own. Her husband was the one who made the call. He sounded concerned but not panicked, worried but composed. He told police the same story everyone else heard. They had a small argument that morning. Nothing serious. She said she needed space. Then she left. No threats, no history of violence, no criminal record. To investigators, he looked like the last person they should suspect. He answered every question. He allowed police inside the house. He handed over his phone without hesitation. He even comforted her family in front of officers. There were no signs of a struggle, no broken furniture, no blood. Neighbors described him as quiet, respectful, predictable, the kind of person you trust. And that's exactly what made the case stall. Because when nothing feels wrong, investigators tend to stop digging. At least at first. Police reconstructed the timeline. Morning, the argument. Late morning, she leaves. Afternoon, no contact. Evening, the husband calls police. Everything sounded reasonable. Too reasonable. But one detective noticed something subtle. Not something missing. Something extra. The husband remembered exact times down to the minute. He knew precisely when she left, precisely what she was wearing, precisely what she said. That level of detail is rare, especially during emotional stress. And that raised the first quiet red flag. Investigators reviewed the husband's statement again. One sentence stood out. He said she locked the door behind her when she left. It sounded harmless, but it wasn't, because the front door lock could only be engaged from the inside. Once closed from the outside, it locked automatically. No manual lock required, which meant she didn't need to lock it, so why would he mention it? It was a detail that didn't add anything unless it was imagined or rehearsed. This is something criminal psychologists see often. Innocent people describe events as they remember them. Guilty people describe events as they planned them. When someone lies, they often add unnecessary details to make the story sound more believable. But those details are usually wrong. The husband didn't just say she left. He described the scene as if he was watching it happen. That's when investigators began to suspect this wasn't a memory. It was a script. Police re-examined everything: security cameras, phone records, vehicle data, and then they found something else. Her phone never left the house, no movement, no signal change. It had been turned off manually at a time when the husband claimed he was alone. Suddenly, the timeline collapsed, and the man everyone trusted became the center of the investigation. Under pressure, his story changed. Small corrections at first, then contradictions. The calm voice faded. The certainty disappeared. Eventually, investigators uncovered the truth. The argument wasn't small, she never left. And the door was never locked behind her. That one unnecessary detail, the kind no one pays attention to, was the crack that exposed everything. He wasn't caught by evidence, he was caught by logic. Most crimes aren't solved by dramatic confessions. They're solved by tiny mistakes. A sentence that didn't need to be said. A detail that didn't need to exist. Because lies require effort, and effort leaves patterns. This case is a reminder that the most dangerous criminals aren't the ones who look suspicious. They're the ones who look harmless. And sometimes all it takes to expose them is listening closely.